hope this day finds you well. Likewise, you look lovely, Taya. What a charming gown! Whenever you wear one of our styles, your Mareaux ancestry shines through. Thank you. Taya's paternal grandparents came from Mareaux, and her inherited auburn hair and fair skin had been a source of great discontent throughout her life. She'd always wanted the black hair and copper skin of a purebred Ondinium. We were wondering if the festival would still be held. The weather doesn't seem promising. My pilot assures me that we'll be safe, although perhaps we will need to move our post-flight picnic indoors, the Queen said, addressing Taya's companion as was proper. I would be loath to cancel the flight, Exalted. I know how much you've been looking forward to it. The Exalted has spoken of little else, Taya said, honestly. She didn't add it had been with more trepidation than enthusiasm. Christoph was fascinated by the technology of dirigible flight. He wasn't, however, enthralled by the experience. Then I'm sure you'll want to meet our pilot, the Queen said, still addressing Christoph's blank ivory mask while gesturing to the aircrew who stood around them. In moments, a newcomer joined the party. Exalted Forlor, allow me to introduce Professor Cora Daughtry, who is in charge of our flight today. Daughtry approached, her eyes moving uneasily from Taya to the masked figure by her side. Like most women in Mareaux, she wore a dress, although Taya noted with envy that it was plain and utilitarian, with a skirt hemmed high enough to permit easy walking. She wondered if Chase would be willing to hem her skirts a little higher. The professor curtsied even more awkwardly than Taya. Professor Daughtry will be accompanying you back to Ondinium as part of our exchange agreement, the Queen said. She's taken balloons and dirigibles up over 200 times for the Mareaux Royal University and has been my personal pilot for 2 years. We're fortunate to be in her capable hands today. The professor colored and curtsied again, muttering something inaudible. She reminded Taya of Christoph, who also fell short when it came to the social graces. We're pleased to meet you, Taya said, as warmly as she could. I hope you'll allow us to ask questions while we're in flight. The Exalted has read as much as he can about dirigibles, but of course books are no replacement for experience. I will be happy to answer your questions, the professor replied in accented Ondinium. I hope you will answer mine too. I am very curious about Icarus flight, and little has been written about it. There isn't much to say. The principles are the same as bird flight. It's nothing as advanced as this. Taya gestured toward the small, well-insulated steam engine tucked in the back of the gondola. Christoph had told her that it drove the propellers. But there's nothing published about Ondinium, Daughtry insisted. Perhaps if we understood more about it. I'm sure there must be a paper written about it somewhere, Taya said vaguely. If there were, Professor Daughtry would never read it. Ondinium was infamous for keeping its scientific findings secret, although it eagerly welcomed reports about technologies developed in other countries. I'm afraid I don't understand its physics. I just use it. I have read a few speculative papers, Daughtry said. The most provocative theory is that it's ethereally transmissive. Ah. Taya wished Christoph were with her. To her surprise, Amkathra lightly squeezed her arm. He didn't know an Exalted's tap code, but... That's quite possible. Since when did the lictor know anything about physics? Or was he just signaling her to get a move on? Perhaps you will have a chance to exchange thoughts on the matter with Exalted Forlor during your trip to Ondinium, Queen Enk said, checking the tiny golden pocket watch that had been Christoph's gift to their host. Excuse me, Your Highness, Daughtry said quickly in Mareaux. Of course, Your Highness. Exalted. She curtsied and hurried off. Distant thunder rumbled. The clouds were moving closer. I'm afraid it's the rainy season, the Queen said, glancing upward. Our storms move south from the Corundial Sea. It must be snowing in Ondinium already. I'm sure it is. Enjoying Mareaux's long, warm autumn has been a pleasant change for us, Taya replied. It will be difficult to return to cold weather. What a pity the Exalted can't stay through the winter. Unfortunately, the High Council insists he return. Of course,